All right. So I think I can start and then I'll just hand it off to someone else after I'm done. Just really quickly, for me, ASMR that I consume every day and that I've been enjoying for the past like 10, 12 years. It's how I fall asleep every night. It's a community that I'm part of, and I'm just so happy to be here. My name is Julieta ASMR, and I am pronounced she, her. Um, Jama ASMR, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. So ASMR to me is honestly just something that puts you at ease almost, something to calm you down, relax you, and make you feel included with the person you're watching or the community in general. It's a wonderful community as a whole, super welcoming, super honest and heartwarming. And that's kind of my description of ASMR. And my pronouns are he, him.
Oh, okay.
Moons, did you want to go next?
Yeah, I'll go. Okay, so what is ASMR to me? To me, it is like a sensation that you get basically of like relaxation, but also a bit of pleasure. And by extension, it's like a bunch of videos on YouTube, which I make among other people, among you guys. And yeah, it's been part of my life for a while now because I discovered it, I think, back in 2013. So like eight years ago, so a while ago. And yeah, it's been part of my life ever since. So I think that's all I have to say about ASMR for now. Jan, do you have something to say about ASMR?
Yeah, ASMR to me is just, kind of just like an escape from like loneliness. I don't really use it to sleep, but I listen to it all the time just to hear people talk,
Mhm.
and all of that. I like the stories people can make up and things, and I think it's an interesting medium when it comes to storytelling. I've been in it for quite a while, and I've altered my tastes and my content creation towards that storytelling aspect. Um, and yeah, and my pronouns are they, them.
Great. So I think maybe we should start with introductions regarding to LGBTQIA plus, maybe a little bit of your coming out story, your journey, how are you here? And of course, as comfortable as you are sharing with everybody, no need to say anything too personal. I'll leave it up to you. So I can start and I'll try to keep it short because it is kind of a long journey. So again, my name is Julieta and I am 37 and I just came out 6 months ago. So I'm a baby gay. That's what they call me. It's a new word for me. I identify as lesbian. I came out as bisexual or pan at first, and then I just sort of realized I am a lesbian slash gay. I'm comfortable with either or. I knew that I liked women and I loved women since I was 12. And growing up in Mexico, I'm Mexican. Growing up in Mexico, you're taught that your goal as a woman is to get married and have kids and serve your husband. Catholic, country, everybody's Catholic, everybody is very traditional. And I knew that wasn't for me. I knew I liked women and I had no role models in my community, my school, my family who were lesbian. So I forced myself into the heteronormative relationships and dated a lot of men. But at the end of the day, I just always knew that I loved women. And it wasn't until the pandemic hit in 2020 that I had a lot of time to look inwards and be true to myself and say, what do I want to do with my life when everything is chaotic, right? When everything is not under my control and you only have one life and you're stuck because there's a virus outside. What are you going to do when you can be out? And I was like, I'm gay. I don't want to waste one more minute. I like women. I love all women. So yeah, that's when I decided to come out to my mom, to my family, to my then boyfriend, and had to end that relationship. And now I am exploring women and I am in a committed relationship with a woman now. So that's how I am here now. Jama, would you like to go next?
Yeah, for sure. So I have also fairly new to being out. I've been out for about 3 years now. I have known pretty much ever since I was young that I was gay. I also at first came out as bisexual in like a sense to kind of ease the situation. I knew in the back of my mind that wasn't the truth, but it was kind of just to get a grasp of like what would happen. I'm a part of a very, very religious family. So coming out at first wasn't the easiest thing. There was a lot of pushback. It was hard for the first couple of months. It wasn't anything crazy, but it was like I knew parents, family still love me, everything like that. But it was just hard. A lot of questioning, a lot of why, like not a lot of understanding going on. And I have 3 older sisters that were the most supportive siblings I could ask for, who kind of sat down the family members that were having kind of issues grasping the fact, and kind of made them realize, like, listen, it's whatever year it was, 2018, I think. Like, things change. Like, he's who he is. Let him be happy, which was great. To this day, we're all good. Everyone's super supportive, which is nice. But yeah, it was a rough ride for the first little like year-ish. I fully came out as gay, like I said, 3 years ago, publicly. I came out as bi the year before, strictly just to my parents and a couple of my siblings. But we are good now. We are open and happy.
Do you want to go next, Moons?
Yeah. Okay. So about me, well, I identify as bi-pan currently, though I haven't yet read the Lesbian Master Doc, so maybe I'm.
It's interesting. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm. And so I feel like I kind of always knew that I was interested in girls, but then again, I feel like when you're a teenage girl, you cannot really know if you just want to be as pretty as the girl or you want to date her. And for the longest time, I didn't know if my attraction to girls was normal or if it was something else, So for the longest time, I didn't quite see myself as bi or pan, especially since, again, I've dated men most of my life. So this is why I wasn't exactly clear. And I didn't really come out also pretty late. I'm not even out to all of my family because we're not that close. So it's not like I feel the need to really tell them. But I'm currently dating a woman, and I started dating women a few years ago. And this is how I would define my sexuality currently. And regarding gender, I didn't say my pronouns earlier because I forgot, but I'm most comfortable with they, them at the moment, although any pronouns are fine with me at the moment. And I have like sort of a complicated relationship with gender at the moment. I don't really know how I fit in with all this. And I would say the best label currently would be that I don't feel that linked to any gender. So maybe agender would be something that works for me, or gender fluid, but it's yet to be confirmed, I would say. And I think that's it for me. So Jan, your turn.
Okay. So I am a transgender, male to female. However, I'm not out at all. So I'm in boy mode 99.9% of the time. Everyone has so much interesting stories than me. I have always known ever since I was like 3 or 4 that I was in the wrong body. That's kind of how I felt it. I thought that I was just like crazy. So I went the route of trying to be as masculine as possible until I got into college and I met a trans person. And then I thought like, wow, that's me right there. So, and that's been about 7 years ago. So I'm kind of fairly not fairly new to the concept, but I'm pretty okay, with it and the identification and everything. I'm not out to anybody besides very close friends and my fiance and everyone on Twitter because I got drunk one night and told everyone. So there's that. And yeah, I want to transition and everything, but from where I live, it is incredibly difficult to do so, and probably not the best idea. Excommunication is a thing, so I'm trying to avoid that. So I'm kind of in the limbo, phase, trying to figure it out. And that's it.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. We're doing great in our agenda. We have an agenda, loose agenda. So I think with that, we can start with the Q&A section that we have prepared prior to this. Is everybody good with that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
Okay. I think we should start with like a more general one. Do you think your experience as LGBT plus influencer has been different from non-LGBT plus creators? And how has that been different? And I think related to ASMR in particular, because that's TingleCon What About. So how has your experience as a queer creator has been different from other non-queer creators? Does anybody want to answer that?
Yeah, well, I think last year was the first year that I have started being vocal about not being straight on my social media and channel. And the thing I've noticed is that it's, whether you like it or not, super polarizing, regarding your audience. And some people are going to unfollow or even, hate you for that, even though like that's not really something you chose. And I find it incredible how impactful it can be on your audience and on your community, basically.
Yeah, I agree with that, especially when you talk to your chat or your audience on Twitch. When you do ASMR on Twitch, it seems to me that you find like-minded people who gravitate towards you because you are LGBT plus. Yeah. And you create a safe space where folks can be open about who they are, their gender identity, what they're attracted to, or, not even talk about it and just know that there is no judgment in that space. And you can all just relax together, enjoy sounds, and there will be no hatred towards them because, like it or not, we live in a place where out of 195 countries we have in this beautiful earth, 70 countries have laws that are criminalizing homosexuality. So it is a matter of safety for a lot of us to find that creator who you connect with and that you can be yourself, form a friendship or whatever it is, and enjoy ASMR in a safe way that you feel connected to the person.
Yeah, I use those tags just like the same reason you just said. I have like the LGBT and the gay tags on like my Twitch and my YouTube channel for those reasons, to create a safe space and to welcome like-minded people and people in the community, so they know that they're welcome there and they're open there. But that also comes with like the hatred as well. People go out of their way to find those tags just to leave a mean comment or go into your chat and say something inappropriate or rude, which I guess comes with the aspect of it, which is always going to suck. But luckily it has been getting better over the years. So hopefully it'll be something that, is completely gone within the next little bit of the future here. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, like having those tags to create a safe space is wonderful. I find a lot of great people in the community with those.
Did you want to add anything else, Yarn? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say for that, it's always good. I think for me, it's a bit of the opposite. I struggle a lot with my content that I make, solely because I can't stand my voice and the characters that I have to play. And I can't tell you how many videos I've made, trying to sound like when I train my voice to be like female and everything. And then I just end up scrapping it because I don't like the way it turns out. And it's a big reason I don't stream on Twitch, just because it just gets too much for me. So I think on the plus side, I mean, it is good, and it's good to make those communities. But I think for me, like, I just struggle with it when it comes towards content and everything like that. So a little bit of the opposite side of the coin.
Did you want to finish your thought, Moons, or I interrupted you?
Yeah, I just have to remember my thought now. Yeah, I was about to say that I think it's important also for the viewer, the LGBTQ viewer, to have, their favorite ASM artist or the ASM artist that they watch, say something about the community, whether they are part of it or not. But I feel it's so deceiving, to find out that your favorite creator actually doesn't stand by the community or doesn't believe that you should be having rights. And to me, this is one of the reasons why I chose to be vocal about being part of the community, because I thought it was really important to let people know that this was my position, and to not say anything about this when I'm in fact part of the community. I thought it was like not misleading, but you get so many comments, especially I'm guessing as a female presenting creator. You get so many comments about your appearance, or men saying that they would like to be your boyfriend, and it's a bit weird to never say how you feel about that in a way, or just let them know that that wouldn't be possible because you're not even interested in men overall, and this is why I think it was time for me to let people know, basically.
On that note, Moons, there was a question directed towards you in particular, because you identify as they, them, or it can be for Yarn as well, but you don't show your face. But do your comments from your viewers change depending on the type of look you have for the video? Like, how do they change? Like, when you look a certain way, do they react differently versus when you look a little bit more androgynous? Like, how does that go?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been struggling with comments on my appearance on my ASMR channel for a long time now, because I feel like a lot of people are sexualizing me, no matter how I dress, the makeup I wear. It's just about being female presenting, and basically that's it. And I've definitely struggled with it. And I feel like on YouTube it's pretty simple. If you have a pretty face, on the thumbnail, people are going to click on it, especially men, and they're going to have something to say about your appearance. It's kind of how it is in a way, but it's something I've been struggling with. And I do believe that when I present more in an androgynous way, maybe the video don't do as well, or maybe the audience is a bit different. Maybe more females are watching, or maybe more queer people. That's possible, but I don't really have the stats to back it up.
Yeah. On that note, I think we were talking also about how important it is to see an ASM artist that you connect with and they become your favorite, right? Because you see them as inspirational, or you see them as safe. Can everybody tell me what are some of your favorite LGBTQIA plus ASMR content creators that you found or that you would like to shout out? Jama, do you want to start?
Yeah, honestly, there are so many. I don't even know where to start. I have like a small list here of some that I am friends with or watch or that I have found recently. So I'm just going to list them off just quickly here. We have Slight Sounds, GB, ALB in Whisperland, Frivy, Daniel ASMR, Leftist ASMR, Kilted Whispers, and the OG Tony Bomboni.
Yeah, definitely.
But there are so many to go through. You can find hundreds of them, which is great.
Yeah. What about you, Moons?
Well, I agree with your list, definitely. But the very first one I had in mind was Slight Sound, because she's been very vocal from, I kind of want to say the beginning, of her channel, but I realized that, yeah, she's been here for years, and she, to me, was like one of the first, well, I'm guessing she wasn't the first, LGBTQ creator, but to me, she had like a big impact on visibility in the community.
I will agree. And they really make a point to be unapologetically themselves when they get a comment regarding their sexuality or gender identity. And I think it's commendable for everybody who's a creator to see someone who doesn't care and just vocal about who they are and who they love. So definitely Slight would be one of the first ones that I saw as someone who was open and comfortable with who they were. And I was like, okay,
yeah,
I could do this maybe, you know. What about you, John?
I definitely say Slight Sounds. I mean, they had a pretty huge impact on me. I'm also going to give a shout out to Parker May Audios. They are a trans creator as well, but they do male fronted videos, even though them and I are in the same boat, essentially. They are probably one of my biggest reasons I keep on going creating is I'm like, hey, if they can do it, then I can. So I want to give a big shout out to them. And then also Whisper Wind, ASMR Sage, if anyone knows her. She has been like my best friend in the community. She was the first person I ever came out to in the community. And while she's not as vocal about it as everyone else, I mean, she's such a big supporter and, you know, definitely influenced me a lot.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah. And I will just want to finish up with how important it is to have queer people of color in these conversations. And I wish we had more representation from the Black community, from the brown community, or anybody who identifies as a person of color, because they have done so much for our LGBTQIA plus community. And especially on the last day of Pride, I would like to, you know, just acknowledge that the Black and brown folks have done so much for the community, and we would just love to have more representation in ASMR. And maybe for next year, we can have more folks join us. And as much as, you know, we want to give our opinions and our points of view, it is an incomplete point of view because their experience is completely different than ours, I'm sure.
100%. Yeah.
Cool. So with that note, maybe we'll move on to the next one, a fun one. What films or series or artists inspired or helped you as an LGBTQ plus person? So films, series, TV shows. I can start. For me, the L Word was one that was life-changing, I would say, because I didn't know what the word queer baiting meant until I came out, which is all the media and movies and TV shows that are with gay characters, they usually turn to be, you know, straight at the end, or they end up with a man, or there's a tragic ending on they're just like a fling and nothing ever happens. But the L Word, for me, it was a show that opened for the first time 3D characters that had backgrounds and complexities and real, you know, relationships between women. And I was like, oh, this is what it could be like, right? If I were in a relationship with a woman. So definitely that one for me. Jama, what about you?
Yeah. There's not like a specific person in sense that has helped me. I guess actually that's kind of a lie. I used to listen to this podcast that was done by the YouTuber Tyler Oakley, who is openly gay. And he had Troye Sivan, who was a YouTuber at the time, but is now also an artist, a singer. He was on the podcast talking about his experience and his coming out story. And I was actually on the bus to school when I was listening to this podcast at like 5 a.m, dead tired. But hearing his story and like what he went through and kind of his experiences, almost gave me kind of the courage to be like, you know, it's finally time. Like I'm gonna come out. This is it. So I give all the props to him because he was kind of my like realization that I need to start living my life the way I want to live it. And then like films in general, even though it's played by a straight guy, Love, Simon is one of my favorite like gay films, just because I think it really shows really well the kind of emotions you go through, especially when you're unsure of yourself when coming out. And I think it's really good for anyone to see, just to kind of witness the emotion and realization that they kind of give.
Well, the one artist that helped me figure things out in a way, especially about gender, is really Dorian Electra, who's a musician, and who's the person who's really androgynous, I would say, because they are really playing with gender, with how they express their gender. And I found it really groundbreaking when I found out about them, about their music videos, who are always amazing. The music was really cool also. I just was completely mind blown, and it really made me think about, what it meant, to be non-binary and to not be gender conforming as well. So this person really had a huge impact on me. And this is the one person I thought of when you said the question.
I love them. They're great.
Yes. Actually, I saw them live in 2019, and it was like one of my last concerts, and I'm so glad I could see them, before all this.
Before all this. What about you, Yarn? Any favorite film, series, or artists who inspired or helped you as an LGBTQ+ person?
So for me, I'd say a big show that really helps me just in terms of the whole culture is the same as you, as the L Word. I've watched it at like 9 and 10, I think is when I saw it. Probably shouldn't have seen it at that age, but it was really kind of a mind-blowing thing. And then there's also there's a black metal artist. Her name is Liturgy or whatever, and she came out as trans, and like black metal is like my favorite music genre, and the fact that someone could be in that kind of music and also feel the same way as me was really hit me hard. And then the last person I would say that really just kind of helps me in general, especially since I have to be in boy mode all the time, is actually Trixie Mattel, famous drag queen. Her conventionally, she's not beautiful when she puts on her makeup or whatever, but I think she's the most stunning person on the face of the planet. And there's a lot of times where I'm feeling super down about myself, and I just kind of look at her and think like, beauty comes in so many different ways and forms, and that's something that's really comforting to me. So those three in particular have really helped me.
Love that. Thank you so much. So let's go to the next question. We have about 15 minutes, so we're doing great. So when you started your ASMR adventure, did you consider ASMR videos as a way to give people positive messages about LGBTQIA+ community and to highlight it? Or perhaps were you afraid of exposing it publicly, or none of that? So when you started, right, did you consider that ASMR would be a way to, inspire people, give a positive message about being queer? I can start. No, it did not even cross my mind. I was in the closet when I started, which was 2019. And it wasn't until 2020 in the pandemic that I really started producing ASMR videos, because I had so much time indoors, in my house. And as I came to the realization that I was, wanting to be out and wanted to end my relationship with my boyfriend and start dating women, my ASMR definitely changed, mostly on Twitch, because I was, more vocal about being gay and being, queer and loving women and just having other folks find me so that we can all be very gay together and enjoy life, So are my YouTube videos like particularly like aiming to inspire people that are LGBT? They're pretty regular videos. I do role plays, I do sounds, I don't make them about being gay, but I think on Twitch is a little bit more personal because you do interact with your chat and they get to know you a little bit better. So they do ask me, like, how's it going? Are you okay? How's your girlfriend, etc. So I think it and media Twitch for sure. And I'm very happy that I did, because I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. And I think you guys can relate. Once you're out, you're like, I'm me,
Yeah.
Hi, this is me. Jama, do you wanna have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, kind of same as you. I didn't, it wasn't in my mind that like when I started my channel, it was going to be, it wasn't going to be like a come be gay with me kind of like channel. It was just kind of, I'm going to make ASMR videos to relax, to help people, just to have fun myself. Though I'm not like quiet about it at all. I ramble a lot in my videos. So if a thought comes to my mind and it happens to be an LGBT thought, I'm going to say it. I'm not going to kind of hide it, which in a sense has been good. I've had actually a lot of younger people message, like DM me on Instagram or Twitter, asking for advice or just saying, hey, you've really helped me out. Like, thanks for being open, which is always so nice to hear. But it wasn't my first thought to be an open kind of like LGBT channel and to spread awareness or like positive messages. Though it's always nice to do. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely a nice part of being an open content creator.
Mm-hmm. Well, same for me. When I started my channel years ago, I didn't think about anything that could happen with the channel, because it was really like one video I was posting. I didn't know if anyone would be finding it in a way. So I wasn't into thinking into, helping the community or anything like that. But years after years, I'm trying, in subtle ways to include the community in my videos. When I do like a role play, and sometimes I do role play where I put some makeup on the viewer for a date, and sometimes I ask, is it like a man, a woman? So I'm like open about all that. And also I did a role play last year, which is like it's basically your roommate shaving you for the first time because you've never shaved in your life before. And someone in the comments said, oh, it's super cute because I'm actually a trans man, and that person could really relate into, being grown up and having never shaved at all in your life. And I thought it was really cool. And yeah, I'm hoping I can do more videos that way in the future. Definitely to have these people really feel welcomed and, especially safe, because ASMR is to feel safe and to feel better, and to have someone take care of you, and having that person, validating you in your identity is really a plus, I think.
Yeah, I love what you said about, making them gender neutral or acknowledging their pronouns when you do role plays. I think it's something that we all need to be better at. When we don't, when you introduce yourself in your role play, you can be like, oh, hi, my name is Julieta. My name is Julieta. I am she, her, just to normalize saying each other's pronouns, and asking for their pronouns. And I always get comments on my videos that say like, thank you for asking my pronouns. Like, I love this. And I know a lot of other creators are really good at this. Josie BASMR is really good at this too. And I think more folks are kind of like trying to make them more inclusive for all genders, not just binary. Jaren, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's funny because I kind of started like all of you guys when I made my channel. It wasn't something that I was very much thinking of. I just wanted to create. But as, dysphoria got worse and worse, I was like, you know what, I'm going to try to transform my content. I actually made there's only 3 videos on my channel now because I erased all the others that you actually can see my face, and they're all me dressed up the way I want to be. And one of the videos I'm very, very, very proud of is that I did a character from a video game, and I am the only ASMR artist that has done that character there. So if you look her up, my video is the one that pops up. And some people are, they react the way that they do when they are not expecting it to be a biological male, in the outfits. But I've gotten a lot of positive reinforcement, and now all my audios, I actually have my best friend. She runs the channel with me, and anytime I'm wanting to do a female, I just have her kind of be my voice. So now yarn has become not just me, but literally kind of both. I think it's really symbolic to me. And then on the topic of gender neutrality, I actually have a second channel that I kind of keep secret from everybody. That's it's much bigger than my main channel, but I make sure that every single video that I say, they, them, or non-binary, try to put that in there. So that way, whoever's listening can consciously, know that I'm trying to be respectful of that. Because I'll tell you, no one calls me they, them in person, and the people that do, online, it completely changes everything for me. So I want to try to bring that back to everyone else. So, yeah.
So,
Actually, I checked your channel earlier, Jan, and I saw that you did a video as Adore Delano as well. And I'm pretty sure you must be one of the only person who did an ASMR video on Adore Delano. I may be wrong, but
Party. No, so I am the only Adore, the only Celestia, and the only Nancy Thompson. But Celestia has 6,000 views or something, and that's one that a lot of people look up. So that one I'm very proud of. But thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that.
Oh, that's sweet. All right. The other question that I have for y'all is, how do you deal with viewers assuming your sexual orientation or gender, which may be incorrect? And do you correct them if that's the case? So I don't have much to say about that. Most people that see me assume I'm a woman. I am a woman, so there's nothing there. But they might not guess at a glance that I am gay. So they do ask me sometimes, because I have that tag on Twitch, LGBTQ, and they ask me, are you gay? And I was like, yes. I have to come out multiple times when I stream, because people ask me, are you gay? Or how long you been out? They want to talk about it. And sometimes I don't, sometimes I do, because you do get it every time you stream. Are you gay? Are you, So for me, it's not that much of an issue, but with gender, but they do ask me a lot, are you gay? What about y'all? What about Jama?
Yeah, I have the same thing that you just said. I don't really struggle with any sort of gender identity comments or anything like that. But there'll be sometimes where I'll get back. A lot of times I've gotten the comment, why is gay in the tags or something? And at that point, I just kind of like to play along. I just reply and I'm like, oh, honey, do I have news for you?
That's sweet. How about you, Moons?
Well, I definitely struggle with the comments about, anyone calling me girl, woman, or anything. I find a bit awkward. And I'm guessing it's because of my gender identity. I'm assuming if I was feeling completely woman, I wouldn't, feel so weird about these comments. And this is something I struggled for the longest time. And I didn't know if I was just too sensitive or if there was another reason for it, And although I've said times and times again that, I'm not comfortable with that kind of comments, of course, not everybody watch the Instagram stories or just care to read about a creator. And most of the time, I'm guessing these people mean well or mean it as a compliment. But to me, sometimes it just gets overwhelming, and I do struggle to keep up with the comments, especially since I want to read every single one of them. But sometimes reading everything is bad for me. So it's a bit complicated. And even though I feel like I've come out to my community about me being part of the LGBT community, I don't really feel comfortable coming out, all the time about where I stand on each part of my identity, basically. So I try to not, use too much the tags on Twitch, because I don't want, to start the conversation, because I don't really feel comfortable talking about this all the time, I guess. I'm okay with how I feel and who I am, but talking about this with strangers sometimes is a bit difficult, especially since, I feel like there are things I don't always share. You know, for example, I'm dating a trans woman, and I know that it's difficult. Even in France, actually, there's a lot of transphobia, and I feel not completely comfortable, you know, having to discuss my identity and my relationship, you know, on the internet, especially since I choose, you know, to put myself out there. But she didn't make that choice, and I don't feel like I have to, you know, put her here with me on the internet all the time.
That makes sense. What about you, Yarn? How do you deal with you're assuming your orientation or your gender, even though you don't, you know, show your face now, but how does it work for you?
So for me, like, sadly, I have the stereotypical kind of bro voice. So, you know, a lot of people comment on that, and, you know, I'm more okay with that. I think the ones that I have difficulty with is whenever I do post a picture on Instagram or Twitter, I always cover either my whole face or half my face or something. And I always get comments or messages of like, you know, why do you cover your face? And it's just like, I could explain it, but then it just kind of goes in circles. So I just kind of avoid it. But where I'm not out at home, I'm kind of used to it, you know, just being misgendered all the time and all of that. So it doesn't bother me too much, but the days that it does, it really does, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. I think it's so different, right? Like all of our experiences and how they have similarities as well. I think is really interesting. And on that note, there, you know, nobody's journey is the same. Nobody's timeline is the same. Like some people come out when they're teenagers. Some people come out like me when I'm 36. There's a question that says, advice for those who are confused and are still figuring themselves out. If you have any advice for maybe someone listening who's maybe relating to either Jama or Moons or Yarn, or myself, what could we tell them? And I don't know if advice is the right word because, you know, everybody's situation is different, but the only thing I would tell them is, number one, make sure you're safe. If you are planning to come out or considering coming out, make sure your family would take it well for the most part, and that you have somewhere to go if things don't go as well as they could be. Make sure that whoever's around you wouldn't have violence against you. Like that would be number one to me. Number two, you don't have to come out. You can be who you are. And if you don't want to come out till you're 80, that's okay. That would be my, that's how I was. Like, I was like, I'm just gonna like women inside till I'm 80 years old. And that's fine too, because it doesn't change who you are, right? It doesn't change that I was a lesbian growing up and as an adult. It didn't change who I was. But once you're out, oh, I don't want to cry. Ooh. The level of love you find on someone who you really want to love is so different. And the emotions are so different when you are yourself with this person. That is so worth it, whatever comes your way. And whatever happens, it's one life. And if you're worried about what others might think and what others might react or how anybody will react, I would say, can we curse? Can I say F them? F them all? We can bleep me. But do what's best for you and love who you want to love, because life is so short and there's so much love to experience. And it's pure, undeniable, beautiful love that I hope everybody finds one day as I found it. So that's what I'm going to say. Jama.
Yeah. The advice that I would have is I think a lot of people see coming out as like almost a race. Like they see people come and they're like, oh, I should come out. I should be open too. My advice is just take your time. When you're ready, I think you'll know you're ready. don't kind of force it, and really kind of resonate with yourself and your surroundings, see what's going on. And like with that as well, I feel like a lot of, at least from personal experience with other gay people I have talked to, when you're younger, you can't really have like school crushes and things like that. You can, but you can't have like them publicly because you're afraid and you don't know how they'll react. So when you are out, like be safe, take your time. I know a lot of people turn to like certain dating apps and stuff just to kind of like find love, because you can't have those crushes or like little dating experiences when you're kind of in the closet. So just make sure that you're safe with everything you're doing in your surroundings. Take your time and just be yourself when the time comes. If it's rough in the beginning, it'll always get better later on, whether it be with family, just coming to understanding, or with people that you find along the journey, it'll always get better.
Mm-hmm. I think my advice would be that, definitely take your time to, figure out how you feel about all this and where you find yourself to be. But don't it's okay if you switch labels, or if you're unsure, or if your identity evolves, because it happens, and it doesn't have to be you finding the one thing that you are, because things can change. And even with pronouns, you can experiment, you can try with whatever feels comfortable to you, and maybe it's going to be changing over time. It's fine. And it doesn't have to be like you need to figure out if you're gay, and making this decision is like something you can change later on in life. During life you change, and it's okay if you find out that you're not what you thought you were when you were younger. So definitely don't think too much about labels, because it's helpful to find your community and to find people like you, but it's okay to also change over time. And definitely, the safety part is super important whenever you come out, or even in your dating life, definitely. And when you're going to be coming out, some people will not get it. Some people will maybe get angry at you, and it's important to take care of yourself and be safe. And if you feel like you can't tell your parents or close ones, well, you don't have to for now. It's important to assess the risk that you're taking, and maybe to not do specific things that could turn out not so well, I would say.
Right. Yarn, any thoughts on advice for folks who are relating to you or what you've been through?
Yeah, this one's kind of hard because I feel like everything I'm about to say is a calling the kettle black situation. So I definitely need to, the advice you guys just gave, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to use that. I mean, first and foremost, if you're feeling any way that I do, just know that you're not crazy. Like your brain will probably tell you 1,000 times over and over again that you are, but you're not. It's okay if you don't fit one way or the other. Everyone's elastic, I guess I could say. So don't ever think that you're crazy or talk down based on how you feel in that manner. But on top of that, just find yourself with a good support system. People around you, that's going to be the thing that matters most, because the people who genuinely care about you will always come find you and stay by your side. You don't ever have to tell anyone that you don't want to. I've only told IRL 3 people. So, it's completely up to you how you do it. Just stay safe and just love yourself,
Oh, I love that. And I love what you said also about like, you're not crazy,
Mm-hmm.
you are valid, your feelings are valid. I think growing up, in a very heteronormative society, which we live on, and marriage as like the goal for, everybody to be part of. Sometimes I would feel like, well, every girl must like other girls, right? Like every girl must find them attractive. They're beautiful. Like, how can they not, right? Like, everybody is attracted to women. It can't just be me. Like, is it just me? Like, what are these feelings that I have? Am I the wrong one? Am I gonna go to hell? You know, like because you grew up or I grew up in a Catholic household, you're like, okay, am I bad? Am I not worthy of heaven? You know, and those things happen to you all your life, so you're just like repressing and pushing in, and eventually you're just like, this is me, you know. It is what it is, and whenever that time comes, it's what it's meant to be for everybody, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah, repression. So we're doing good on time. I think we have time maybe for one more, perhaps two if we make them short, but we can see. Okay, we can do you find the ASMR community is particularly inclusive of different lifestyles and choices?
Actually, yeah, I got this question on Instagram, and the part lifestyle and choices sounds a bit weird to me, because this is referring, I'm guessing, to the LGBT community. And to me, it's not a lifestyle, it's not a choice, you know?
Got it.
And I am assuming this is a hetero cis person who asked the question, because to me, for a lot of hetero person, it's a lifestyle, it's a choice we're making here, you know?
But that's good that you clarify that.
Yeah, because I'm understanding where that person comes from when they say that, but to me it always sounds a bit weird, because this is not how we are living this, right? Or maybe I'm the one not living seeing this that way. But
no, you're right. Yeah,
not a choice. Yes, we are who we are, and do you think the ASMR community is inclusive of people like us who are in that LGBTQ plus spectrum?
I'm gonna say it really depends on the creator, but most ASMR videos are inclusive of everyone because they are mostly generic. Well, in my opinion, they are mostly generic and they are for everybody. But it really depends on, you know, each individual creator about how they feel about the community, if they are ever spoken about the community, supported the community. And to me, sometimes I know I'm quite a bit on Twitter, and it happened in the past that I saw ASMR creator, you know, like, for example, J.K. Rowling transphobic tweets. And that's, to me, it's a big red flag on, you know, maybe how this person feels about specific members of the community. And most viewers will not be seeing these things, because you have to be on the right website at the right time. But I feel like it's important, to bear in mind that some creators may be doing, you know, ASMR videos to relax everybody, but they are all, you know, persons with opinions, and sometimes they are not that inclusive, because we are all on the spectrum of, you know, LGBT friendly to phobic.
What about you, Jama?
Yeah, no, I agree. For the most part, I think ASMR as a whole in general is very inclusive, but I agree with it depends on the creator themselves. Obviously, there's going to be people in general that agree with some aspects of what you agree with, and some that will disagree with certain things, whether it be sexuality, gender, whatever it may be, politics, literally anything. But for the most part, in my experience, the community's been super welcoming and open to me. I've been lucky enough to make many friends in the LGBTQ community, including you guys, which has been amazing, and it has opened me up to a lot more conversations within the community itself, and kind of opened up a lot of doors, kind of like everywhere. So I think, for the most part, just be kind of careful and keep your eyes open on what's going on around you. But for the most part, the community is fairly inclusive to everyone.
How about you, Yarn?
No, I agree. I think Moons really nailed it on the head. I think the only thing I want to interject is that, unfortunately, there are some people in, you know, if you go on Twitter and get into the ASMR community, you're going to kind of see that everyone's pretty much, from what I can tell on my corners, that they're all pro LGBT, which is amazing. I'm very thankful for all that. but there could be some people that are only on there to try to get fame or saying certain things or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
pretty much to sum up what I'm trying to say is that don't put people on a pedestal. Don't assume that because of what they've done or anything like that, that they are inclusive. Sometimes they do have the telltale signs, kind of like what Moon said about liking certain tweets, things like that. Everyone's a person behind the screen or behind the username, so we don't all truly know. But from what I can tell, everyone's been super inclusive, super welcoming. But there are a few that kind of get out there. So just be careful. Whoever you communicate with, whoever you're open with, just be careful.
Yeah, this actually reminds me of a creator who I will not be naming, who actually made, non-binary friendly ASMR videos, who later on turned out to be not at all supportive of the non-binary community and trans community. And basically, the reason he was doing that was because he knew, that the LGBT community would find it really nice and really good for them, but the person didn't actually support the person. So some creators, hopefully not that many, but some really are, calculating and doing things for a reason. And sometimes people can be fake because it's the internet, when do you really know someone, So yeah.
I love that. Careful.
Yeah.
Yes. So in the last few minutes, I think maybe we should do like closing arguments. What do you think? And then Nathan can
actually,
close us
if you mind,
or...
can you hear me? Yeah, I just wanted to add, just throw this into the mix, but as it is your final question, I'm just going to close out like this, but I think, could you just talk about, this is, your chance to speak to an audience of people who, maybe they know a lot about the issues, maybe they don't, but maybe this is just one thing that you really think is important. It is your closing and just something you really want to get across to the audience out there. That was my...
Okay. I can go second because I haven't thought of mine. So Jama, what is your one thing that you want folks to get out of this time?
One thing that I think people should get out of this is just to be, if you're going to put yourself out there, just be 100% honest, be unapologetically yourself, and not, I don't want to say be cautious with what you do online or who you talk to, but kind of in that aspect, be cautious. Make sure you know what you're doing and just be yourself.
Okay. I think I thought of mine.
Go.
Okay. For anybody who's watching, because we're assuming that a lot of these viewers are queer, right? But for the non-queer folks, I would beg you to listen to the community. And when we bring issues forward, try to understand us and not be defensive. Mm-hmm. I know that not everybody's homophobic, but we do encounter a lot of situations where we don't feel comfortable being ourselves or expressing who we are or saying who we love. So for all you allies who want to do better, just listen and try to understand our point of view, and especially the points of view of Black and brown queer people whenever they're in the room. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking of something that happened in France yesterday. I think it was yesterday, and I'm French, so this is why I have this in mind. But basically, yesterday a new law was passed so that most women would be able to have basically children. So a couple of lesbians can now have legally children and have easily, putting their both names as parents, which is new, and all of that. And the thing is that for a lot of French people, this means that all women can have easily children in France now, but this is not taking into account trans women and trans men. And I just want to say that whether you're part of the community or not, it's really important to empathize. I'm not sure that's the right word, but just to think about how other people of the community can feel and support really every single person, every single letter, of the community. And I feel like, when you're a lesbian or gay or a trans person, we get into these sub-communities of people like ourselves, but it's really important to fight for everyone's rights and to really, just not stop when your own rights are available, And even for straight people, I feel like it's difficult for a lot of cis straight people to understand our struggles and understands why we are even fighting for rights that they already have. And I feel like it's super important for people to just, take the time to understand our specific cases and why we are not actually having rights we should be already having. And I just wish that people would just care a bit more about other people's struggle and not just their own or lack thereof, basically.
Thank you for that. That's very important. Yarn, any last thoughts?
Yeah, so I think for me, I'm very much on the side of Moons. Just kind of be more, I guess aware, because these things do happen all around, everywhere, America, everywhere there. But for me, I just want to, say, we're all human. We may be in the community, but it's not my entire identity, So, like, I just want to be, I guess, like normalized. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I have other interests and other things that I like to do that doesn't solely focus around that. So to judge or hate on anyone for that solely is kind of missing out on the whole person. So, just be cool, be good to everyone. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
All right, great. Well, that was really amazing. And like, I think for myself, hearing all these stories was just really enlightening. And I think everybody out there is going to find this extremely useful, and especially because it relates to ASMR. Maybe a lot of people don't necessarily make that connection. So I think that's really, really important. But I want to just say thank you so much for sharing this, taking your time out of your day to come talk with us. And I think we should also just say, if any of the people out there want to go check out these lovely ASMR artists here, Julieta, BehindTheMoons, Jama, and Yarn, you can find their channels. We'll link to them if we can in the various social media. And outside of that, thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Y'all Awesome. Have a good day.
Thank you for having me.